Happy Beard Games.
Famicom Friday.
64ならではのド迫力 3D バトル、完全新作ストーリー、夢の合体攻撃システム搭載、任天堂64ソフトスーパーロボット対戦
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, your source for classic gaming goodness. Today is a Friday, a Famicom Friday. Now, this is a first for a Famicom Friday. We're actually playing I think this is the first time, it's the first real gameplay time at least. We're playing a Japanese region Nintendo 64 game. If I go to the very first option, it should be the new game. What was that? Okay, so this is the introduction. There's a lot of text. But the gameplay is pretty straightforward, or at least from what I've done. I beat the first 2 levels when I was playing it and testing it out for that pickups video where I picked this up last week. Yeah, so there's a lot of text here, which I'll skip through. Luckily, you can go by it pretty fast just by spamming the A button. Button. ABBA. ABBA. Well, just A, I guess, but yeah. Let's see. So you've got an option between these two guys, which I'm not sure which anime or manga or show they're from. Let me know in the comments if you know what they're from. Then there's also... Oh, there's more. Okay, never mind. I thought there was only 2. So this is what I chose last time, was these 2 girls, which I never got to play as the blonde girl for some reason. It was the other girl that I played as. And there's these guys, which may or may not be from Gundam. And there's these guys, which I'm not sure what they're from either. So, just to keep things smooth, I'll choose the one that I chose last time, which is this. What is this? That's A, accept and decline. And then you enter some information there, which I'm going to leave as default. And we start. Alright, so here's some more text. It's weird how it's like going through like light speed, hyperspace there, with the star field, and then it's got all this text that just flies through it. It's kind of cool. The music's really good in this game, and I didn't notice it until I started watching the demo reel at the start of the game, like if you let it load for too long. I didn't notice it, but until I got to the Gundam Wing characters, that they actually have themes from the specific animes that each character is from, because everyone in this game, I think, is borrowed from different animes. It's like a collaboration of different series in a tactical, like a giant robot game, basically. And it's kind of cool also on the N64 for this being a mostly 2-dimensional game. A lot of N64 games were, you know, pushing the 3D thing, whereas PlayStation was, you know, sometimes they were 2D, sometimes they were 3D. But on the N64 it was mostly 3D games. So this is a 3D, this is a 2D game. And I think you can use the D-pad too, which is always nice to do. Because I don't like holding it like that and that. I like holding it like that, like a normal controller. And plus it kind of like cramps my hand when it's like jammed into the Z button down there. Hey, what's up, Blues? Yes, we are playing Super Robot Wars 64, also known as something else, Robot Wars Taisen. I couldn't even find the game, like, you know how you like enter on, I don't know if you know, but when you're entering a game on YouTube and you're trying to like type in like what video you're specifically like making the video about, it should come up automatically, but it didn't. So I tried to type in Super Robot Wars and it came up with nothing. So I don't know, I came up with a bunch of other Robot Wars games, but it didn't come with this game, so I don't know if I have it labeled correctly. But it's Robot Wars 64 or Robot Wars Taisen. So here's the battlefield. It's kind of like an Advanced Wars type game. You've got your field here. And yeah. This is where the enemies are, the red, spawning right now. So there's a bunch of those guys. They're really weak. They're really weak enemies. And then we've only got like 2 guys, and I think halfway through the level, a 3rd character appears. So we've got this girl and this other dude. And then the butler guy. I don't know if he's really a butler. He looks like Alfred or something, but... so we've got those 2 characters, and then Alfred's like you're just there helping you, I guess. I don't know. It's not really Alfred. It's just, it looks like Alfred from Batman. So this is the whole field here. We've got all this stuff down here. Later on, your other character and enemies will spawn down there. You can like look at the characters. I think by clicking on, you can see where they can move to. So it's very like an Advance Wars game. But what you got to do is, how do I get back? Actually, how do I get back? Do I have to deselect them or something? There we go. Okay. So we select their character, we go there, you go to move, you move them forward, and if you're in attack range, you can attack. So basically you like take turns. It's like a tactical, very basic tactics RPG. There's probably other things you can do, but since it's Japanese, I don't know Japanese. Like I know a little bit of Japanese words, but I don't know how to read any of the Japanese text. So it's all just me winging it. There's probably other things you can do, but I've beaten the first 2 levels without doing any special things. There's different attacks you can do and stuff as well. So basically that's the whole first turn. Then you, I think you press A, you go down, wait, do I go to this one or? First one. Okay, first one switches turn to the enemies. And they go, they move. What's up? Oh my god! Hello, all you happy party people. Yes, we are the happy party. Okay, so we're playing Super Robot Wars Taisen for the N64, Japanese N64. And yeah, this is on the actual console. So this is what the battles look like. It's basically like an Advance Wars. You've got, once you enter an enemy attack, the enemy attacks first, and then I get a counter attack, which is what I like about these games. It's not like just the enemies attack you and then you wait a long time, then you get to attack them on your turn. No, every time you enter a battle and encounter with another enemy, you both attack during that same turn, which I like that a lot. And there's other things you can do. If anyone knows Japanese off the top of their head right now, I don't know what these do, but I've always just clicked the top one. And I've only had this game for about a week, so I don't know too much about it, but I've beaten the first 2 levels. And this is the first level with these characters. There's different stories you can do with different characters from different mecha or giant robot animes. So she's really cool. She has some cool moves, and I think as you go along, if it was her turn, you could choose or at least do different attacks, and you do level up and stuff like that. I remember there being some cool looking attacks at certain points in the game. I don't know if the music's too loud or too quiet or not. I tried adjusting it a lot. I literally just figured out that I could record this way, so where I can see the chat, see the game, and play it without any lag, which is really cool. I didn't know I could do that. Like, I thought, like, the last few months of live streaming, I've been doing this thing where I have to change the channel to the input, where I have a lag-free channel, but now it's not, so it's really nice. It's just a lot better, a lot easier to set up. And there is only one like catch with the way it's set up now. I don't know why, but like I have to like click like disable webcam or disable capture device, and then re-enable it when I put in a new game for some reason. It's weird. Oh my god says, are you using actual Japan N64 or did you soft mod the cartridge bay in your NTSC to fit Japanese cards? I did the second part. Well, I don't know, is it really called a soft mod? I basically got a 3D printed tray from RetroGamesJapan.com like a long time ago, and they still sell them, and they're really cool. And these 3D printed trays, I explained it at the start, but you just basically you can play Japanese and North American N64 games on the N64 from North America. Ooh, this is where I get. Oh yeah, this is what I do. You get like different moves, and some of them have a different range. So I can do a ranged attack on this guy, and sometimes they won't be able to counter you because you're doing a range and they don't have it. So here's this guy. I don't know what anime this guy's from. The only animes that I know that are in this game, are Gundam Wing, and maybe Original Gundam. I'm not sure. But I was on the main menu and I was letting it load for a bit. Here's another guy that's coming in. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, they started playing the Gundam Wing theme from the anime, so I recognize that. But yeah, this is North American N64. Yeah, with Japanese game. I thought... Okay, this is where another person that's on your team spawns. But... I thought enemies spawn down there too. Weird. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just the same enemy group up here. So the red guys are the bad guys. I think that's the end for my turn. Oh, you can also like click on buildings. And like, I think that some of them give you different cover enhancements and stuff. That's what that 10% is. And I think forests do something too, like 15. So let's figure out how to end my turn. I don't know if there's anything else you can do on your turn. See, I don't know Japanese reading it, but I would like to know eventually what the other options are. But just going for a straight attack is fine for the most part. The attacks are easy to figure out and stuff like that. I bought like 5 Japanese region N64 games. I did a pickups video for it like a week ago. And I got it for Pokemon Stadium. And then it turned out that Pokemon Stadium was a little confusing. The original Japanese one, the one that's not in North America, it was a little confusing. And, I mean, I figured out how to do the basic Pokemon battles, but I didn't know how to do the Pokemon game that well. But, out of all the games that I got, I think I got 5. This is probably the second easiest to pick up and play. And they were all region exclusives. The other one that I kind of want to do eventually, it'll be a while, but Puyo Puyo Sun, it's really cool. I really like that. That's better than the Super Nintendo one. But yeah, I've got Pokemon Stadium, the original Japanese, which is not in North America, and then Pokemon Stadium 2, which is the one we got in North America as number 1. There's a little bit of differences between those two, and I kind of want to go through those on a stream someday soon. Oh, you saw the post? Yeah, the video is, it's pretty short. It's pretty much just me showing the games I got with some gameplay footage and, my initial thoughts on the game. It's not like directly me commentating or anything, it's just a little bit of gameplay clips. Let's see, we've got these different moves here. Let's see what that does. I can attack from a bigger range with this one. I kind of want to go after this big dude up here. There's some stronger enemies that you have to fight. I think there's like 2 or 3, maybe 2 really strong ones on this, and the rest are like little like minions. I really appreciate everyone in the chat today. A lot of these people are, so far everyone that's chatted has been a recurring subscriber, which is really cool. I haven't done a live stream in about a month. I did that Godzilla Kaiju Daikessen live stream randomly because I couldn't think of a game to play. And I wanted to do the Pokemon Stadium, but I didn't get around to it. And, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but if you're on that live stream, the Kaiju Daikessen one that I did, I was like, ow, my thumb got a blister on it. Well, when I re-upload that one eventually, if I do edit it, my thumb actually did get a pretty bad blister from that game. I don't know why. Like, usually it's the PlayStation that gives me the blisters with fighting games, but I actually just pressed a little too rough on the old Super Nintendo controller. And yeah, it gave me a pretty bad blister. And it was there for like longer than you would think. It wasn't that bad, but it was weird. Like, video games don't usually give me blisters, and it was there for like 3 weeks. Like, in various stages of blister. It was kind of crazy. You will always be here, Blues. Aw, thanks. Punch that guy. See, I like the graphics, how they're like 2-dimensional, but they're still animated. And then they also got like a 3D background. It's pretty cool, and it works with the anime characters too. And that's what I liked about some of these games that I got. The other one was Puyo Puyo Sun, which is entirely 2-dimensional, but looks great, because it's like, it went from Super Nintendo to N64, and they were pushing the 3D thing. But it's always cool when you find some games that are... Oh yeah, this guy down here. When you find some games on the N64 that are completely 2D. Another good one is Mischief Makers. That game's really fun. I have that one on the North American card. I guess I couldn't attack with this guy yet. Weird. Yeah, blisters are not fun. I usually get them on my feet. I don't usually get them on my hands. It's weird. I guess like doing the attack really in a circle with the Super Nintendo controller, I just really like got to it or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was really weird. It was like, because I played the game a bunch like a year ago when I did my big review of Kaiju Daikessen, but when I did it for the live stream, I guess I was just trying to do it like in like an hour's span of time, and so it kind of messed up my thumb because I was going fast. That was weird. It's Alfred. I would like to know what they're saying. I don't know if there's a translation patch for this specific game. If you played it on a ROM, that'd be the only way to do it. There's no like retrons for N64 stuff, which is weird, but I guess it's kind of hard to emulate. Yeah, that would be cool if they like did like kind of see. The only reason I really like the Retron that I have, or the main reason that I really like it, is because I can play Japanese games on the actual carts and install a translation patch if it's available. They're all fan made, but yeah, it's cool to be able to play these games that never made it to America and then have a fan translate it and be able to play it like normally. Oh, here's a sword charging up. Hiya! Bazooki! Hi-yo! Boom! I've always found the N64 oddly satisfying, says Oh My God. I didn't really have a PlayStation during that era of gaming, so N64 was more my mainstay. For me, I had the N64 shortly after it launched. It wasn't like on launch day. I think it was like the Christmas after it launched, or like it was like a few months. It was less than a year like after it launched, because I know I didn't have like the launch titles. I had some games that I got right away with it. Like I think I had Diddy Kong Racing, Shadows of the Empire, and Mario 64, and yeah, so I had those. I had it early on. I love the Super Nintendo and the NES and the Game Boy. Before that, but the first non-Nintendo console I ever got was the PlayStation 1. I think my stepdad picked it up because like he saw a few games that looked cool, and then he also wanted a CD player, which people talk about like the DVD player being a big selling point of the PS2, but the CD player was a big point of the PS1 also, because he wanted a CD player when he was on vacation or something. So I played the N64 and PlayStation kind of equally, in a way. I think I played like the N64 more in the first half of that generation, and the last half of that generation I played the PS1 more. I think what really hooked me on the PS1, the PlayStation 1, was RPGs like Final Fantasy games, especially Final Fantasy 9. Yeah. This is just all the enemy attacking me. I'm kind of spaced out, but it's really easy on the first level. You don't really have to do anything. This guy has a cool looking robot. It's just like sits down on like a hoverboard or something, and like just little like tank armor comes out, tank weapons. But yeah, I don't know if I don't know, it's hard to say. I kind of like the PlayStation 1 more than the N64, like in the whole. But there's a lot of things that I like about the N64 too, so it's really hard for me to choose. I used to be like, oh yeah, I like PlayStation more, but on that generation. That's the only generation where I ever thought PlayStation was better than Nintendo. But I don't know, it's like I kind of like it N64 a lot too. It's really hard to say. The 4 controllers that just built into the console normally is great. The cartridge, it's a little weird now that you think about it, like having carts still, but it works for a majority of the games. Like it works. I mean, you can't get Final Fantasy 9 on here, but you can get some other really cool stuff that run in 3D and don't use pre-rendered cutscenes or static backgrounds. Well, some games do, but a majority of them don't. I'm still surprised, and I have it, but I'm still surprised that they were able to port Resident Evil 2 to the N64. I have that game. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have Resident Evil 2 on the N64. I just think it's kind of a neat thing. It's got like cutscenes and stuff. It's a hard game, though. I've never beaten Resident Evil 2. But yeah, I got a bunch of Japanese region games for the N64, and it's a little bit easier to import games for the N64 from Japan than it is the PlayStation 1. I remember one of my friends who was Filipino, he had a bunch of import games when I was like in middle school, and he had this little like thing that plugged into the back of the PlayStation 1. It was like a lockout chip or something that allowed you to play Japanese region games, and that was really cool. And on the Dreamcast, I think you can play Japanese region games if they're like, I don't know if they're normal, but when they're a burn disc, you can. Yeah. There's like this like AI computer thing that like controls. It's like the enemy's commander, I guess. That enemy looks kind of cool. It kind of looks like one of the not aliens, one of the enemies from the villains from the Dark Crystal movie, or like Ridley, Mecha Ridley from Metroid. Okay, now it's my turn. It's cool. You can use the thumbstick, which I don't really need to use in this game, but you can also use the D-pad, which is really comfortable in this game. I don't like using the thumbstick too much on N64 because my hand gets like kind of stuck in there sometimes. It's okay on like 3D games, of course, but like it's kind of weird. On some games, I'd rather be able to use either both. Sometimes the D-pad just does absolutely nothing on N64 games, and it's like, well, I would like to be able to use, have the option to choose, which is a cool thing to be able to do, but can't always do that. Let's try to attack this guy. Nose itches. Allergies, maybe. I had my window open and the fan on, so maybe. I don't know what time I started streaming. I guess maybe like, I guess it's just 28 minutes ago, so we'll keep going until like 6 or 6:30. Probably 6:30. Alright. That guy kind of looks like a Final Fantasy bad guy, though. The guy I'm fighting now. Okay, we should be able to do this if I kind of team up on them. So it gives you a list of things you can, different attacks you can pull off. So this one should be a strong one. Let's check out this attack. I might be able to finish off this guy right now. Oh, he's getting big! Soaring through the sky! Punch! Oh, it's like a grappling ball and chain that came out of his fist. That's cool. They didn't really do that much damage, I guess. Shoot me lightning. Yeah, I was gonna mention Kirby 64. You have to use the D-pad on that. I know it's a 2D game and stuff, but why can't you use either or? Like, I don't think the thumbstick does anything in that game. I was playing it recently on the Switch, and that was cool. But yeah, I don't think I beat it on the Switch yet. But I did beat Pokemon Snap on the Switch online, and it's kind of expensive to be able to play N64 games on the Switch, but it's okay. And it's kind of cool because, I don't know, people complained about it at first because some of the games didn't run that well. But all the games that I've played, I haven't had a problem with. And they have some nice improvements versus the actual N64. So, like, they look really nice on the Switch. They're really crisp on Pokemon Snap, at least. I didn't play through very many of them on the N64 on Switch, but I did play a little bit of Star Fox, a little bit of Kirby, a little bit of Mario Golf. I played through all of Pokemon Snap, and I played through most of Winback. What am I doing? I think I used everybody. Switch turns. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Advance Wars series. I can't wait for the new one to come out on Switch. People haven't been talking about that one for a little while, but it was supposed to come out a few months ago, but they delayed it because of the Ukrainian-Russian invasion thing. What did you say? Russian invading Ukraine, I guess. They didn't want wars to come up when a potential war was going to happen, so they delayed it. But I don't know. It should be done. They should be done with the game, but they still haven't released it yet. But that looks cool. The Advance Wars for the Switch. It's just a remake, but it looks cool. Yeah, they've definitely... Yeah, Caffeinated Owl, they did improve the emulation. I think they like fixed like some of the water graphics on Ocarina of Time, like as a patch, and a couple other games like they're a little bit different now than they were when it first launched. And oh my god, they yeah, it does look like a Final Fantasy boss, like something from like Final Fantasy 1 or maybe Final Fantasy 4. Okay, so we're just killing mechs, destroying mechs and the mech pilots and fighting over the city. It should be good. See, I don't know what these other ones do. I'm afraid to click on them too, because I don't want to like waste a turn. They might be items or equipment or stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But this is like the enemy's turn, so I don't know what they would be. Maybe it is an item. I don't know. I've never had to use an item in this game. I'm just gonna keep playing it like straightforward until I get to like a hard part. And I have a save file. I'm on like the 3rd level so far. Boom! Really cool explosion. I like how it's like a 3D background, but it's 2-dimensional anime characters. Okay. And you have HP and energy. The energy is a little low on the character that's fighting on my team right now. I'm assuming higher attacks or different attacks that have a better range will require more energy. So I'm assuming there's items you can get to increase your energy or your health as you go along. So even this counterattack takes away some of her energy. I want to check if it increases turn by turn, because that was a cool attack, that boomerang. But that took... I only have 5 energy left, so let's see if I get some restock on the next turn. I don't think I have it. I'm gonna move first. No, I don't want that. Well, I want to move here. Okay, let's see. So no... not sure where it says my energy on this screen. This is just me choosing an attack. Let's try this one. It'll say it when I'm in the battle. Oh yeah, it did go up a little bit, so I have 10 energy. This attack takes 10 energy, so it goes up by like 5 points as you switch turns, I guess. Whoa, he's destroyed. That did a lot of damage. That did a lot. That did like 1/3 of his damage. Or is it health? I feel like, and Oh My God says, I feel N64 Online would kick off a lot better if they expand the library just a little bit more. Yeah, they need more games. It's kind of weird that they only have like 1 game a month. There's not too many games on there. I feel like they could do more, than they are. But it's pretty cool. If they had like 30 games at launch, that'd be better, I guess. But if they had Donkey Kong 64 at launch, says Caffeinated Owl, I think I would have gone bananas. Ooh, banana. We got a couple more enemies. I think there's some more down below. I don't know if I can hit from... Ooh, I got a range. There we go. Try to take out this guy. He doesn't have too much health, so we should be able to take him out. I've got my cool anime hairdo and my red jacket. My robot missed. Oh noes. I didn't know you could miss. I guess there's a percentage of accuracy or something like that, because... yeah, that totally missed. I probably would have killed him too. So they only do like 10 damage to you, so it's like you can't really lose on this level. Let's see if I can get this dude up here. Let's see. Can this guy even do anything? What does he have? There's his stats and stuff, I guess. He has 1 attack, but it can't hit, so there's nothing I can do. Okay, cool. Bam, bam. Okay, now maybe I'll get him with a counter attack, because this is like a really weak like peon. He's not gonna do anything as long as I don't miss again. See if I can hit him back. I'm not gonna attack with this guy because he's still out of range. Oh, maybe he can. Okay, he can do a range. Ah. Now, I didn't really want to announce this, but I guess I could do it on a live stream because people don't usually rewatch my live streams afterwards. This is going to be the last live stream for like 2 or 3 weeks. Going on like a vacation. Yeah, a vacation. Kind of vacation. I don't know. I'm going to try to do some like uploads from my phone or something. Or maybe I'll bring my camera and just switch the memory card to my phone. But they won't be like gameplay videos. They'll be like pickups and things like that I can do with just a camera. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna... I mean, I know I won't have a chance to do any like real videos for a couple weeks. But it kind of sucks. So I was pretty close to finishing my Power Rangers review, and I wanted to get it done. And I actually I wrote most of the script, and I've already like voiced it and stuff. But what I did was, like, for the Power Rangers review, I did all this video in one take on my camera, and then I looked at the video footage, turned that into a better sounding script, and then I'm gonna redo it again with that script so it's more condensed and I know what to say for sure. I feel like sometimes when I do my videos, it's easier to do it that way, because then I can I don't know how to attack with that guy. I can just I know what the point is that I'm trying to get across, and I don't get as confused when I'm saying it if I just do it twice and then look at the footage the first time and then do it again. It's easier for me to like get my thoughts out on the video, especially on reviews, if I just have a script or something to go off of. And also that way I'm not repeating myself, so if I have a script I know for sure I'm not repeating what I'm saying and stuff like that. Did we beat the level? Or was it? Yeah, I think we beat the level. That was into level 1. Then we go off on our Indiana Jones adventure to another part of Japan, I'm assuming. Could be a fictional world. I think it's somewhere in Japan. I don't know. It's hard to say. So, Amagod says, friendly reminder to all, stay cool. Stay hydrated. Summer's coming in hot and heavy. Yeah, there was like some really hot days like a week ago, last weekend. And I don't know, I haven't looked at what's coming up, but then the rest of the week was pretty cool. And yeah, it's like it got really hot. I don't know. Where I'm going on vacation, it should be about the same temperature because it's still in the same state. It's not really too far away or anything. But yeah, I can do some vlogs and pickups and stuff. I wanted to upload some YouTube shorts. I heard YouTube's pushing the shorts because they want to compete with TikTok. I don't know what this is. This is like, I have no idea what this is. This is like in between the levels. You can like look at stuff. I don't know. Oh, this is where you save. So you can save to the actual cart, or you can save to a memory card. And I think you go... Let's see what I can do. I can increase my attack and stuff. See, I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. I might do that. See what the characters I've got. I got the 3 characters I had in the last level. It could be Italy. The guy was like a butler-looking, Alfred-looking guy. I don't know what these are. These could be attacks you buy or something. I don't know. I'm gonna go here and try to upgrade some of my characters' abilities. And, yeah, HP and energy, which are the ones I know. Energy is like what you use for it depletes when you use an attack. HP is like your health. I think these might be like strength or speed or defense. I could be wrong about that. Let's see if I can upgrade this. Okay, so now I've got a little notch on the triangle. Yeah, it upgrades a little bit. I'll get it to like there, and then I'll upgrade that one. And I've got just enough to do one more. It was the points are like the 1,500. It could be Italy. It could be futuristic anime Italy. Oh, you only have a certain amount of money for everyone. I thought each individual robot would use the same, would have their own little like individual points they can buy. So like, I can't buy anymore. Okay, well I upgraded her a bunch, so that's cool. She had lower health, but now she's a little bit better. But she seemed like she was a better fighter. She had some cool moves like the boomerang and stuff. I think you go to the bottom one. I don't want to exit. See if I can save to the memory card. There's my old file. Well, I was in level 3. Let's just make a second file so it's like I have my main file and I have my live stream file. And then you can go to ROM, which is the on cart. So these are like from whoever owned this game before me in Japan, and they made it to like level 86 and level 20. I have a cool memory card. I have a bunch of N64 memory cards, but this one's one where you like 1, 2, 3, 4 sliders, and each one has their own like full memory card space. Let's see if this brings us to the next. Okay, I think that's what it is. I don't think there's a way to get back to the main menu, so it just brings you to the next level. Okay, we'll do one more level. I was kind of thinking about playing a different game alongside this one, like a different game in the same stream. But I can just save that for a different video so I get 2 full gameplay videos instead of 2 short ones. Sometimes I don't like it when the live streams go on too long for a game, because when I'm editing them, they edit down to like 6 different parts. Like I have that Star Trek game I was playing for Wii Wednesdays, and I'm editing it down. I've already done like 2 or 3. I've done 2 uploads for it, I think, but I have a 3rd one ready. I just haven't uploaded it for some reason. And then I've still got like maybe 4 more parts after that. Because that game went on long, even for one little game, it went on for a long time. Level 2, we've got a different map layout. There should be some cool new enemies to fight against. And I don't really know like the story, or I don't even know much about this series. I skipped through all those. Oh yeah, this is where I was. Okay, so like when I started the stream, I actually clicked continue, I guess, instead of new game. And so this is where I was, I think. I don't think I beat this level. I think I like made it towards the end and then I stopped playing, so it's gonna be kind of hard. And then we got a new character in the middle there. He's surrounded by enemy troops, and you gotta come and help him out in this battle. Okay, and the controls are very straightforward too. Like, I don't know all the things on the menu and stuff, but the controls are just A and B. A to select, B I think is like, I think it's like go back. The Z button doesn't do much. It basically brings you back on the map to whatever character you're supposed to be using. And then I use the D-pad. The thumbstick does the same thing as the D-pad. L and R, I guess L and R, like they toggle between the characters real quick. The C button, C doesn't do anything. Oh wait, C right brings you to a zoomed out map. And C up brings you to whatever this is. So let's start by flying these guys straight forward as much as I can. I can't attack too far away. This can go over here. And this dude can go over here. Oops. Yeah. And then this guy, who's surrounded, I'll put him here. Can I attack? No. Okay, well, it's end the turn. Yeah, I love these strategy games. And there's a game that's just like Advance Wars, but it's for the Nintendo NES. What is it called? I can't see all my NES games from here, but I can... It was... Oh! There it is. Desert Commander. I think it's Desert Commander. It's basically like an Advance Wars, but it's for the NES. I don't know if it has anything to do with Famicom Wars, which was the Japanese Famicom version of Advance Wars. That was like way back on the NES. But Desert Commander is pretty similar to these two. So this basically is the first video where I'm doing Japanese N64 games. And I won't always do Japanese N64 games. I still got some Famicom games I gotta go back to. But it seems like more recently I've been wanting to do either Super Famicom and now the Japanese N64. And then I've also got a few Japanese region Game Boy games. Game Boy is completely region free, so you can play that on anything without any like modifications at all. And I heard that Japanese Game Gear, Sega Game Gear, if you play them on a North American Game Gear, I'm not sure about a Retron, but if you play them on a North American Game Gear, some games will automatically translate like to the English language. Isn't that weird? That's really weird. I don't know exactly what games. I know Puyo Puyo for the Game Gear does that. I haven't done it firsthand, but a reliable source told me that. So I was thinking about checking out some Japanese Game Gear games soon. I only have one Game Gear game. I don't have a Game Gear console, but I do have an adapter to play it on the Retron 5, so I can record it and stuff like that, and play it on the TV. The only game I have is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But yeah, and I played through that game and beat it already. It's for the review. It's a pretty cool game. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Game Gear it's kind of weird. It's a fighting game, but it's got a little more depth to it than just a tournament fighter. It's got some cool stuff in it. It's a little bit unique. Yeah, it is kind of cool. It's weird that it'll translate the games. I don't think every game will do that, but some games do. And I heard that even changes some of the graphics. It's weird. So this one takes... I'm trying to figure out where it says how many points it takes away from your energy meter. Is it the button? Is it the number on the far right, like a +0, minus? But why would some of them give you a +30? I don't know if that's right or not. Maybe that's how you get your energy back. Let's see. I'll try this one. Oh, you have the Sonic 2 cart from the Game Gear? Nice. It's kind of funny. I've had this single Game Gear. You know there's like protective case, the clear plastic one for Game Boy games? I've had a Game Gear 1 since I was like a kid when I got my first Game Boy. And I was like, it doesn't really fit Game Boy games that well, so I was like, I always assumed it was Game Gear. And then I got my first Game Gear game like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh, sweet, now I have a case for it. A little protective case. Finally got to make use of that thing. And I want to get more. I was going to get a bunch. They have like a bin of them at Super Smash Games. And I was going to get a bunch. I want to get the Addams Family, the Lion King. There was another Power Rangers game for it, I think. There's a bunch of games that I want to get. All the Sonics, the Echo the Dolphins, and I haven't really looked at those games or even played any of them. So it's like I'm going in blind. I know they're similar to the console versions. I dodged it. He only has a little bit of health. But yeah, it's a cool little console. Cool little handheld. Yeah, Brian got the OLED Switch, so fingers crossed as Let's Go Pikachu save data is transferred to the OLED. I think as long as you have it like fully backed up and updated on the current Switch you have, it should be fine. I mean, I'm not sure because I've never done it. I've done it with the DS and 3DS and the Wii to Wii U, but that was a little different. But it should be fine as long as everything's like backed up before. I think the only game that it wouldn't be backed up on is Animal Crossing. It has that weird thing where you have to get like another app to use it or something. It's weird. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. Also, I think games, like if it's like an online game, it won't matter really. Like if it was like a Fortnite or Fall Guys, or it's a cross-platform game, it probably wouldn't need it. Like I have that Power Rangers Battle for the Grid for PC and Switch, and it does cross-save, and like it goes cross-play and cross-save your data, but it doesn't like okay, like how to explain this? It doesn't do everything. So like I have all the DLC for the game on the Steam version except for one DLC, and on Switch I have all the DLC for Power Rangers, but I can't play as the character that I bought on Switch on the Steam version. You have to buy all the DLC twice. Luckily it's cheaper on Steam than it is on Switch usually, but it does carry over like your level and your titles and who you beat the game with, I think, but it doesn't carry over your story mode progress, and it doesn't carry over a couple other things. But that's one of those games where it's like it's crossplay, but it's a little weird because it doesn't crossplay everything. Oh yeah, you had another Switch and it got banned from Nintendo, so he couldn't like back up anything or transfer anything to his other Switch. So it should work fine on the new Switch. I think it would give you like, you would think it would give you a warning or something like that, like, or at least let you know what it's doing. So I don't know. It should be fine. If you need a copy of Sonic 2, I can send you mine. I don't have much use for it. That would be great, but I think I could just buy my own. It's fine. I mean, I think the game was like between $5 and $8 at Super Smash, so it might just be easier. I could just pick up one. Actually, it might have been less than that. It might have been like $3 to $8. I don't know. And I don't really need it right away. But if I ever do like oh, I really need a Sonic 2 and I can't find it for some reason, I'll let you know. But I don't think I need it right away. Speaking of Sonic 2, I haven't played the Game Gear version, but the Genesis version I have like 3 copies of, and it's kind of funny. When I was subscribed to Video Games Monthly, somehow I got sent a cart of Street Fighter 2 for the Genesis, but when you put it in, it's not Street Fighter 2, it's just the shell of Street Fighter 2. Inside the shell is Sonic 2. It's weird. It's really weird. And I was like, it took me a while to like figure that out. I think I wasn't even subscribed to VGM when I figured it out, because I was like, okay, I don't need Street Fighter 2 that much. I already have it on Super Nintendo and other consoles, so I didn't play it right away. And then when I did play it, I was like, wait a minute, this is Sonic 2. And I noticed it right away because it's like Sega, and it's the startup of Sonic 2. But that was weird, and I still have that one. But I do have another copy of Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis now. So I have 2, and one of them is Sonic 2, and then I've got like 2 other copies of Sonic 2. But I don't have the box for any of my Sonic games. And the only Sonic game I don't have on the Genesis cart is, I think Mean Bean Machine. I think I have Spinball. And I know I have 3D Blast, I know I have Sonic 1 through 3, and I know I have and Knuckles. I got the and Knuckles cart with one of my Genesis from Goodwill a long time ago. Back when you could get retro games at Goodwill, like normally. I got the... I don't know, let's try this one. That's where I got some cool stuff. I remember, like, back in the day, like, every other time I went to Goodwill, they would have a Sega Genesis, or, like, some Sega stuff, or a controller, or a game, or something. I actually passed up a Sega Genesis Model 3 at a Goodwill, like, right before, like, retro gaming got big, and, like, even before I had my YouTube channel, I think. I was like, nah, I don't need it. I have a Genesis Model 2. I think I had 2 of them at the time. And I still have 2 of them, but I also have the Model 1. But it was just like a Genesis Model 3 in like an electronics pile bin. It's like, it's smaller. It's kind of like square shaped, and it doesn't really look that cool. But I don't think it's as good as the other models. But the Genesis Model 3 was kind of rare find at Goodwill, especially now. It's like, see, what's up with this character? He can't like attack. Do I need to equip something or do something differently? I'll mess around with him next turn. Wait, can I go back? No. I'm not paying too much attention to the game because it's kind of easy at this part. But yeah. Oh, you remember the Street Fighter 2 cart? Yeah. I think I have another game that's like, it's the wrong game inside. Oh yeah! It was a game we played on the co-op, Brian. What was it? It was Valis, the Phantasm Soldier. But, the cart was like Raid on Bungling Bay for the Famicom. I was like, for the longest time, I was like, there's something weird about this Raid on Bungling Bay cart, and I didn't know. I never put it in because I was waiting for me and Brian to do a co-op of it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be weird. This is a weird game because it had like a different color cart than it was supposed to, but it had like the same looking Famicom cart logo. And it said Raid on Bungling Bay, which is an actual game. It's like a military game for the Famicom. And I think it's on the NES too. It's like an arcadey military game. And it had like a weird... The back of the cart didn't have the Raid on Bungling Bay... 666 back logo. It had like a Dragon Ball logo. Like some of the... I think Bandai games, I think, have a Dragon Ball logo, or I know I have a couple Dragon Ball games for the Famicom, and it shows like the Great Dragon and some Dragon Balls, but it shows it on the back of Raid of Bungling Bay. The cart's a different color, it's like salmon or something instead of like black or silver. But the game inside is a pretty cool game, so I think I got a better deal. It's not like it's rare or anything, but the game inside is Valis the Phantasm Soldier, or Valis the Fantastic Soldier, which is a pretty cool game. They actually have a collection of all the Valis games on the Switch that came out recently. It's basically like it's a side scroller, a little bit resembles Sailor Moon. It doesn't have too much platforming, but it's like a side-scroller kind of like action, a little bit like a beat 'em up, but not really. Yeah, it's one of the other ones. I don't know if there's anything else I have that's like the wrong game in the right shell, or in a different shell. I mean, I have a couple of duplicate games, but I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else I have like that. I'm trying to think about. I'm looking at my game shelf. I'm not. Remember? No, it wasn't Baby Blue. I don't think it was blue. I think it was like pink, like baby pink, not baby blue. I could be wrong about that. I have it up there, but it's right on Bungling Bay, and it's not really that. I think it's like pink or salmon. I have all my Famicom carts in like a rainbow formation instead of sorting them by name because they don't have side labels, and I have a bunch of different colored Famicom carts. I have like black, white, and then it goes blue, turquoise, light green, green, yellow, orange, pink, red, and then a bunch of dark blues. And then there's some of the Konami ones that do have the side labels. And I think the Namco ones have side labels too. One of mine's missing a side label. For some reason, only a couple Famicom developers actually put side labels on their games, and Konami was one of them. Dryerlint, what's up? Rob, R-O-B-B, was a favorite of mine on the Commodore 64. He went on to develop The Sims. What was his name? What was his name? The guy that developed The Sims. His name's like Wright or something like that. I could be wrong about that. I just something to start with a W. Did we beat the level, or is this transition? No, it's just transition. R-O-B-B. That's a game. I've never heard of that one or seen it. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a person. He went on to develop The Sims. I can't think of the name of the guy that made The Sims. But The Sims is a cool game. Brian, the Caffeinated Owl, did a SimCity live stream a couple months ago. And it was pretty cool. What the heck? Oh, is this the move? I gotta move first. Let's try a big one. A rank. Attack that bad guy. He's got a lot of health. He's got more health than me. Oh my God said, I picked up a cart at a yard sale once that was supposed to be Vector Man, but ended up being the Sega Genesis version of Clue. I have Clue on the Super Nintendo. Oh, right on Bungling Bay, Rob. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I actually haven't played it because I don't have it because I thought I had it, but it was Valis. I don't know if it's any different on the NES Famicom versus the Commodore. I think it's kind of arcadey, and it's like military something. And Caffeinated Owl says, "Ooh, 666." Yeah, that was me. Ooh, I always say that when I see the 666 in games. Just the enemy's health. Actually, I don't know why I can't attack with this dude. He's like, he can counterattack, but I can't. I'm not sure. Will Wright. Yeah, I knew it was something right, because there's a guy in the Super Nintendo version of SimCity that his name is like Dr. Wright, or like the mayor, or like whoever helps you. I think you play as the mayor, but there's a guy that like helps you. Yeah. Oh, it's the same gameplay. Yeah, I haven't checked that one out. I thought I was going to check it out, but then to my surprise, it was something else. Yeah, cool. It was weird because when I picked it up, the text on the Famicom cart was kind of like English and hard to read, so I didn't even know if it was called Bungling Bay. So it looked like it said Bunkling Bay, like with a C instead of a G. So I kind of messed that one up, and then I was surprised when it was a different game. I think I did that for a Famicom Friday, but it was a co-op one with Brian. Will Wright. My favorite Sims game is The Herbs. I like that one on the GameCube. Well, I have it on the Xbox now, but The Herbs is really cool. I don't know why, but I like it more than The Sims. And I like SimCity a lot, but I like the Super Nintendo first SimCity. That was cool. I think I have that. I think I have SimCity on the Famicom, or Super Famicom, I mean. But I have it on the Super Nintendo as well. I think I have it on there. I also have Populous. I don't know if Populous is related to SimCity, but it's similar. Not everybody. This guy might actually kill me, so let's see what we got here. Oh, big skull coming at you. He looks like he has something on his forehead, and the thing on his forehead looks... Oh no, that guy died. I don't know how much when a character dies. Is it permadeath like Fire Emblem? I don't know. But yeah, nobody comes back somehow. The thing on that skull that attacked me... Holy... Whoa, that guy's a lot of unknown health. Weird. But the thing with the skull had something on his forehead, and it looked like Nigel from the Wild Thornberry show. It may use the microphone and the controller. Ooh, like the second player Famicom controller that has the mic. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't actually have the Famicom console. I've been thinking about picking it up, just for like authenticity. But I don't think I have any Japanese consoles. Let me check. No, I don't have any Japanese consoles. I thought I had one. Maybe I don't. I think I have like a handheld one. But I don't have any Japanese ones, so I usually just play them on modified English, North American ones. This might be one that we need more strategy to beat this level. Let's see if I can. Oh, this guy has almost full health. Let's charge at him with the ball and chain fist. Wow, it does not do much damage. Ah, it's big. See how much damage this guy does to me, because he might, yeah, do a lot of damage. We can probably take him down. The one guy that got killed, I didn't know how to attack with him for some reason. Let's move a little bit closer. Let's try to take out this thing, or do some damage to it. Yeah, I don't know too many Famicom games that actually make use of the microphone. The only one I think is Legend of Zelda that I knew of, with the Pole's voice. There was another one though, I don't remember what it was. I don't think the microphone worked that well, from what I knew, but I never really got to try it out. I think it was just like, it accepted like sounds, not like full phrases or anything like that, but I don't know. That's the way a lot of video games where you talk to it kind of games, like Hey You Pikachu or Seaman for the Dreamcast. Those ones were a little more advanced, but I think like older ones, or even like some of the DS games that use the mic, you just kind of like the simple sounds. Let's try going after this big guy. Like you're ranged. Let's do this one instead. Okay. Ooh, they have a little conversation. Ready to... Ooh, the city looks cool. Laser eyes! Ah! Nani? So yeah, oh my god, you said you got Vector Man, but it was Clue. I haven't actually played Clue too much. Oh no, yeah, we're gonna get our butts kicked on this level. It's weird because the first level was super easy. Like, enemies only did like 10 damage to you. Uh-oh. This isn't looking good for our heroes. I might have to, like, figure out how to play the game better. But yeah, and I have Clue. I think I only have it on the Super Nintendo. I haven't bought a Genesis game in a while. Okay, we should be able to take this guy out with a counter attack. See, it looks like he has Nigel Thornberry on his head. I don't know, it looks like it. So this character, this girl, is the only one that I leveled up the stats of so far, so she should be a little bit better off than some of the other guys that I wasn't able to upgrade yet. Spectrobes on the DS kind of did that, but you can also just blow in the mic a bit. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of games that were like you just blow in the mic, and I didn't like that very much. I like motion controls, and I like the touch, the stylus and stuff. I kind of missed that, actually. There's a few games on Switch that use the stylus, but yeah, it's like, it's weird. It's kind of weird to like just blow in the mic like you're. And then there was Brain Age on the DS where I remember there was like a cheat code you could enter just by saying something on the title screen. Like you say, like glasses, and that little the doctor guy from Brain Age like flips his glasses up. Little cheat code. Okay, we're narrowing it down to I think the last enemy, but he's like the boss. Wow, just rams right into me. Yeah, and then there's Nintendogs. I don't know. Did Nintendogs use voice? I don't remember. It's been a while. I never played the Nintendogs for the 3DS, but I did. I had the original. Oh, this is one of those things where you don't have to kill him all the way. Or no, wait, what? He just like poofed. Or is this him? Is this someone else? No, that's that Final Fantasy looking guy. Huh. Well, maybe we cut ourselves a break because that boss just poofed. He like skedaddled out of the game. I guess it's one of those things where you don't have to actually like defeat him. They do that on Final Fantasy sometimes, like, oh my god, this boss is so hard, he's kicking my butt. Why is he so strong? I'm not under-leveled, and then it's like, oh, it's one of those battles where you're supposed to die. We might be able to beat this level then. Depending on how much damage this guy does to her. Okay, he didn't do that much. I was kind of afraid about that. Because she's like my main mecha. Let's just put him down here. I don't know if there's any like flanking bonus or anything like that. See, I haven't really looked up anything about this game. I'm just kind of playing it blind. I didn't even look up anything about it before I bought it. The only thing I looked up was a little bit of gameplay on YouTube, and then I was instantly like, yeah, this is something I would like. And I was like, not sure how well I'd be able to play it, but it still looked pretty cool. And by the way, all these games that I got were like an average of $10 each, so it's not like this was the most expensive one, but it averaged out to be $10 each from this little pickup I got at Retro Games Japan, which is a really cool store. It has an eBay page where that's where I found out about Retro Games Japan, but it has a store page, website page too, and they always send me like coupons every time I order. So I have a coupon where like I get another percentage off because there's already a deal where if you buy 5 you get a percentage off. But I get another % off my next order, plus they give me like a sticker or something like that. It's a really cool. I've been buying from them for like 3 years or so. Most of the games I get there are like really inexpensive. Occasionally they'll have some rare ones. I think the most expensive game that I've bought from Retro Games Japan was probably Super Metroid. And Super Metroid on the Super Famicom is really cool because it has an English language. Just normally. Like you can play it in English or Japanese. You can choose in the main menu. Alright, we beat him and I think I leveled up. Or I beat the level and I leveled up. Considering I got to this point without understanding a lot is still impressive. Yeah, I mean I'm pretty much just pressing the A button and choosing who to fight. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty straightforward so far. Those guys look very similar. Both wearing red, similar hairdos. One looks a little more detailed for some reason. I think it's because they're crossover from different anime series. Alright. Oh! His face, he looks so scared. Okay. It's weird how some characters have different expressions for different things they're saying, but not every character does. There's two new characters, I don't know who they are. A little conversation. You can skip through it pretty quick, which is nice. It's weird that that's like 3D, that like background for the menu area. Let's go ahead and save to the memory card. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. It's already, well, it's almost 6:30. All right, everybody, that was it for today's Happy Bear Games Famicom Friday. We played Super Robot Wars 64. I think it's also known as Robot Wars Taisen, not like Mike Tyson, but like Taisen. And it's really fun. It's pretty easy to pick up and play, even if you don't know Japanese. There's still a lot of things that I don't understand about the game, but you can still make your way through the game pretty easily enough. And it has a lot of crossover with different animes. Most of them I'm not familiar with. I don't watch too many mecha animes outside of Gundam. And even in Gundam, I've only seen like Gundam Wing. I think I've seen like the 8th MS Team and a couple other ones. I mostly like to build the models. I don't really like I don't watch the anime too much, but I like building the Gundam model sets. Those are cool. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Oh My God said, good stream, Kevin. Alright, everybody, thanks for watching. Once again, stay tuned for more classic gaming goodness and more Famicom Fridays and live streams in the future of hybrid games. Alright, everybody, bye! I don't want to eat the controller. I kind of want to bite it, but I'm not going to eat it.